In this video, we're going to take a look at the most common section used in Word, and that's found on the Home tab, and that is this font group right here in the ribbon. And the reason being, these are things that we do most often. So let's take a look at these. Now before we do, just so you can make sure, I can make sure that you can see the text, I'm going to move this wonderful quote from Jim Rohn over. And if you notice, it says, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Now I've moved that over because as I use this section, I want you to be able to see what happens. Now, utilizing this section means that we need to highlight the text that we want affected by the things we click over here. So as an example, I'm highlighting the entire quote. I'm coming up here. Let me choose a font that you can see. And if you notice, it changes the highlighted text. Notice how Jim Rohn is staying the same. It changes that highlighted text so that we can use it. Now, if I wanted to, let's say I want to focus on just a few keywords. I'm going to double click happiness. I'm going to hit and hold down the control key while I choose future, double clicking, and present, double click. Now, anything I do here is going to change just the words I've highlighted. Let's look at some examples here. So I can bold. I can unclick the bold. I can italicize. And I can underline. Now I want to spend a little bit of time looking at this section so that you have an idea of understanding. So I'm going to go ahead and focus in. Again, we looked at, let me just double click a word here. Whoops. We looked at the font. I can change the font size. I can increase the font size by doing this, decrease the font size. I can change the style, so I can, if this was a sentence, I can make it sentence case, all lowercase, all uppercase, for example. Capitalize each word, which in this case I only have one word selected, or toggle case, where it's lowercase and uppercase, everything else. I'm going to come back here to sentence case. I can clear formatting of the highlighted item. Here I can bold, and I can do that, as you can see, by just clicking on the B or choosing and hitting the control key plus the B. Here I can italicize, control I. Here I can underline, control U. I want to point out that there's a down arrow, which means there's more. So if I'm in this down arrow section, I can pick a specific underline as well as a specific color based on my current theme selected or standard colors that I want my underline to be. And you can see that changing as I select it. Coming over here, we can do a strike through. I can make text subscript or superscript. I'll give you a quick example of that. Sorry, Jim. I'm going to go ahead and create a blank line. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do H2O. Now, normally when we do H2O, the 2 would be subscripted. So if you notice, I've highlighted the 2, and I'll choose subscripting. Another one that we see a lot, E equals MC squared. In this case, we want to superscript the 2, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight it and choose superscript. So there you have an example of subscript and superscript. I'll go ahead and delete that. Looking at some other items, I'll choose happiness again. I can come over here and utilize text effects in the down arrow and change that word to a specific effect to make it stand out. Now again, just to make sure we're clear, I can hit the control key, double click future, double click present, and utilize that same thing to highlight some words. And sometimes a simple change like this is all we need to make a document look wonderful. I'll go ahead and do the undo key. Highlighting, I can choose standard highlights and standard highlight colors. Font color, I can grab any color out of my current theme or out of standard colors, or I can come in here and choose a custom color from the selection, choose OK, and it will be added as well. Now again, if I wanted to, I can highlight this word and clear the formatting. Now if you notice, it's clearing all of the formatting. Okay, now We go ahead and undo that one time. There also is more. You see this down arrow here? If we click on it, we get our menu. I'm going to leave the menu right here. And you'll notice we can change the font body. We can do a lot of the things that are available up here. We can change the font, the style, the size, the color, the underline style, underline color. We do have some additional features. Subscript and Superscript are up here because we commonly use them. But we could do a double strike through. We could do small caps, all caps, hidden, and what it affects. We can set something as the default. So if we want, we can create our own custom default. We can also go into text effects, which we've seen before, looking at shadows and reflections and etc. That was right here. All right, that's enough for the basic font section in Microsoft Word 2016. Take care.